Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness, day 132 with David McDonald, the GOAT. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Morning, Liz. Howdy. All right, let's jam. I'm pleased to say that we have our next book. It's going to be amazing. All right, see you guys on the other side. Alrighty, welcome back. Welcome back. All right, so now we just finished our meditation routine. We actually have some pretty cool updates that we're going to bring uh, to the journey probably in the next week or so to kind of help with instruction, nonverbal instruction. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be pretty cool. Um, Currently, right now, I'm reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Boom. And it's been pretty awesome, actually, to read through this book. It's been very inspiring. I'm happy to say that we've found book number 2 or book number 5. And we know what we're going to read next here, so that's going to be exciting. It was kind of interesting the way it showed up, too, so I'll talk about that later. But with that, if you're joining us for the first time and you don't have a book to read, go ahead and good morning, Auntie. How's it going? Go ahead and pull up some literature on your phone, and maybe just read for 15 minutes some self-help or things that you wouldn't normally read, to kind of get your mind right. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Oh, excuse me. This is crazy. Alrighty, welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, so we just finished our reading routine and we're gonna get into the final stretch. Happy Monday, Marcus. Good morning, my brother. Good morning. Um, VJ, what's going on? Hector, Anthony, good morning. Um, so now we're getting to our final stretch here with our journaling routine. So if you don't have a piece of paper or if you don't have a journal, just go ahead and grab a piece of paper. And so usually how I like to start in the morning with the journals is I like to talk about what I'm grateful for. The most important thing or the thing that I'm most grateful for in the morning is waking up. No blessing better than that. Um, and then from there, just having exceptional health. So just being in good health, knowing that I'm healthy, two things that I'm grateful for. So I like to start off by journaling about those, and then I do like a self-reflection on the day from the day before. So if there's something yesterday that happened that I requested to happen, then I show my appreciation with that. If there's ambitions and intentions that I set for myself today, moving forward, that I want to happen today, then I set those intentions. So the cool thing about journaling is it's over time it's a manifest. Like I have maybe since 2014 I've been journaling, and now it's wild to go back and look at like where my mindset was at, like how I was tracking, my business notes, my personal notes, etc. And so this one's a little bit more targeted because it focuses on my personal, specifically my dreams. And so with that, I'll see you guys on the other side. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. We can go over it, but I'll see you guys here shortly. Sweet. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. So we just finished our journaling routine. And so now we're going to jump back into our book and just go over a few points that were significant. And so yesterday we started talking about yesterday we went over the first 30 major causes of failure. How many of these things are holding you back? And so we went through, like I said, around 15 of them, and now we're getting into the next 15. So, or no, we went over 9 of them. So we'll go over another 9 of them. Or maybe let's just finish them up because there's not too many. Okay, so the last one, the last cause that causes failure was procrastination. The big one for yesterday was ill health, so not being in control of your physical self. So lack of persistence. Most of us are good starters, but poor finishers. It has everything to do with execution of everything we begin. Moreover, people are prone to give up at first signs of defeat. There is no substitute for persistence. The person who makes persistence his watchword discovers that old man failure finally becomes tired and makes his departure. Failure cannot cope with persistence. Ooh, that gives me shivers. Every single day you put your mind to doing something, you do that. Not only in your mind are you declaring that failure is not even an option. There really isn't anything there's no such thing as failure. Your life changes forever. Negative personality. There is no hope of success for the person who repels people through a negative personality. Success comes through the application of power, and power is attained through the cooperative efforts of other people. A negative personality will not induce cooperation. I met this girl yesterday at the store who was helping me with some services, and she was doing this thing with her finger, and she was like scratching the skin off, right? And so I looked at her and I was like, why are you doing that? You know, like you're hurting yourself. Good morning, Farhan. I was like, you're hurting yourself. And she's like, oh, I've always done this. And I was like, oh, you do that when you get nervous? She's like, yeah, I do when I get nervous. And I was like, you can change that. You know that, right? And then she goes, oh, no, I've always done this. I've been doing this my whole life. And I was just like, all right. That's not negative personality, but that's, we'll leave it at that. So lack of, okay, this is, again, I love the way Napoleon Hill is doing this right now. Lack of controlled sexual urge. We talked about sex a little bit yesterday, and it being one of the ill health habits. Lack of controlled sexual urge. Sex energy is the most powerful of all the stimuli which move people into action. Because it is the most powerful of emotions, it must be controlled through transmutation and converted into other channels. We all are sexual and physical beings. There's no question to that. The thing is when you overindulge, just like anything else, then that can be to your detriment. So for us to have the ability, the self-physical control, mind control over the scenario, even being in positions where, even being in positions when it's easy to attain, you still find that self-control to push it away. You still find that self-control to convert that energy into something that's more productive. I appreciate you, Napoleon Hill. That's awesome. Uncontrolled desire for something for nothing. The gambling instinct drives millions of people to failure. Evidence of this may be found in a study of the Wall Street Journal of 1929, during which millions of people tried to make money on stock margins, pretty much betting on a market that doesn't exist. Fast money, but very risky. Yesterday, I was watching this thing on YouTube. Mr. Goros is a multi-billionaire who said that tech giants like Google and Amazon are going to be defeated here shortly because they're monopolizing the market. I'm going to post this in the Journey to Greatness page. I'm telling you right now, you guys, what this man was saying, it reminded me of J. Edgar Hoover, the president. President Hoover, when he made his address to the nation, saying that these like eminent powers of the government are going to come into the lives of civilians, essentially, and kind of take watch, or like essentially that big brother idea that we know today, that they were going to come and they were going to come into society and do this. Mr. Goros, I forgot his first name. He has a whole video at an economic speech address. At an economic speech address that he's part of, and it's some powerful stuff. Like he's totally coming, like he talks about the addictive nature, and this is why I'm talking about this. We might even get to the rest of these, but he talks about the addictive nature of Facebook. He says that the way these big conglomerate media companies like Google and Amazon, the way that they've written their code, the way that they've cracked the code to get to people is crazy. And what he's saying is like they've added an addictive, like psychological technology, like platform in the platforms that we operate on. They've incorporated an addictive qualities that are akin to gambling. And so when we're online, okay, so then the whole point of that, right? What does that even mean? Okay, well, it's his claim is that they're killing innovation. And I translate that the ability to create, because they're distracting us from our own potential, because we are choosing hold on, pause. We make the decision to do the things that we do. The information is all out there. And I think through self-reflection, we'll always come to a point where we just stop and say, is what I'm doing right? Like I spend hours on Facebook, let's say, for example, hours not doing anything, or on WorldStar, or on YouTube, or on wherever. Is what I'm doing right? And I do this every single day, and it's not really a productive thing. I'm just watching things for entertainment, right? Through self-reflection, we can come to this realization oftentimes, but because I always look for these things. So it's knowledge that we're bringing together forefront. But my point is always being on Facebook. They've done a very excellent job, the creators of these platforms. And they said, Mr. Goro said, just like the oil companies, if you guys know anything about the oil companies, and if you've ever seen any pastime movies about oil companies and how they went to people's, farmlands, and had really super complex contracts, and at one point in time would take over people's land, and then they'd build these huge tunnels through their property, and the owners not even really know what was going on, and there was just all kind of craziness happening. Like an oil man sticks his pump or his tubes into somebody's property or into the ground and extracts all of the oil out, right? Pumping, exhausting the world of all of its natural resources. Funnels it over here. They create monopolies. They have huge conglomerate oil companies, right? And these companies run everything, a lot of things in the U.S. and around the entire globe, right? Like that's one of the reasons for big wars. We're talking like huge monopolies. This is what Goros is saying, of course. And long story short, it's like you have companies like Google and Facebook. So he says that are manipulating and sticking a huge tube into the social science realm, where they've learned our patterns, they've learned our behaviors, and they are able to control the way we feel. They're able to control the way we feel based off of how we're exposing ourselves to their network through big data. Big data, that's the name of the game, period. If you can get big data and you can learn the conditions, the psychological patterns, the behaviors of all people, you can sell that to any company. You can sell it to the government. They can figure out how to track you. You can sell it to this person or that company or this to get more ratings or to get higher view counts. There's a lot of different stuff you can do with big data, and you can market to people. You can sell your product to people. It's a whole nother realm. But what Goros is saying is that you have, these big, huge media conglomerates that are sticking their tube into society in the social spectrum, not the natural physical, but into the social spectrum, and they're pulling out all of the resources and killing innovation because they're dictating how we should think, and we don't even know that is happening. That's what makes it more powerful, which is really interesting, because I'm like, how do you build something, or what's your mindset like to even create something so powerful that people don't even know what the hell is going on, but yet they're so connected? And this idea that we're all connected, however, we show all of our tendencies online, all of our behaviors, all of our patterns that can be computed into a financial program that is then sold back to us through Facebook marketing ads, where you could target people directly and do all of these interesting and cool features. These are cool things. Like, I like them. I enjoy them. I benefit from them. But my point is doing it consciously is a very interesting spectrum to consider. One thing Goro said yesterday that made me smile from ear to ear is this. I know some people who thrive off of power. They thrive off of being in power, and they only want to be the ones at the top. That's interesting to me. And when I come to think of some of those people, I thought about what Goro said. He said, these media conglomerates, these people pretty much, excuse me if I'm butchering it, but he said these people who are amassing mass amounts of wealth, they manifested a hell of a dream for themselves, right? Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos of Amazon. These guys are monsters out here. Like, they're absolutely they are master creators. But he said, Goro said, these guys feel like they're masters of the universe, that they're able to wield it any which way that they wish, right? He said, but forever they will be slaves to always wanting to be the most powerful, which in the end makes them nemesis of the people, because he's saying that even little kids, their innovations are being killed because these, YouTube, little kids, I'm talking like there's little kids out now on YouTube making like $6 million a year. These guys are balling, just opening presents, and their highest view count are other little kids around the world, and maybe adults and middle age or whoever, but it's other little kids, millions of views, you guys, like crazy stuff. And so what more Goros was saying was like, that's the generation we got to look out for. And these media conglomerates don't care about that generation of people, because they're going to learn them so well that they can dictate where they won't even have the ability to think for themselves, because the social media marketing and the screen. What do you do when you want to keep your kid quiet? Put them in front of a television, right? Not me. You better go in there and read a book. No, I'm just joking. No, I'm not joking, actually. But my point is mindful consumption. If we're gonna consume, and quite evidently, like, we're benefiting and we're building community right here on Facebook. And I would say, at the end of the day, thank you. Wonderful platform to do this on. But mindful consumption. If you catch yourself for a few hours just looking and scrolling through material, I'm not saying it's bad. All I'm saying is, some self-reflection, seeing how beneficial that really is for you, might be in order, or just, might be a question that you ask yourself. which is interesting because the next section of this book goes into questions that you should ask yourself for annual reviews of yourself in order to be a better person. So with that, I know I didn't finish. That was just a huge one for me. Lack of control, sexual urge is one of the main causes people fail, and wanting something for nothing. So the gambling gratification. The stuff is structured, man. It's amazing to watch. This world is incredible. Anyway, happy Monday. I hope you all have the best day of your lives. Thank you for joining me for day 132 of 365 on the journey to greatness with David McDonald, the GOAT. And if you could drop in and into the journey to greatness page, press the like button. That's awesome. I'm doing it organically. I'm not inviting people to come like the page because I believe that the synergy will, roll further and farther than, to just naturally have that organic like. And I like that a lot. No pressure. It's everybody's on their own journey. I love you guys so much. I hope you all have the best day of your life, like I said, and I'll see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Let's go.